and a halftime to win the game. Offense had chances in the third quarter to put the game away and didn't. Defense played great in the first half and made some big mistakes in the second. I've only been a part of a few as tough as that one. I'm heartbroken for the kids because they worked their butts off this week. I congratulate them. You know, they could have quit. They outplayed us in overtime and at certain stretches of the game, and I got to do a better job. We all got to do a better job.
What was the thinking on in overtime, first two play calls, run plays?
Well, to be honest with you, we were talking for 5 minutes before overtime started about what our best runs were. They got a field goal. I didn't want to risk throwing an interception or losing the ball. We picked two of the runs that we thought were the best. Knew before the series started that we didn't have our kicker. So I was trying to run the plays that would hopefully most likely get us 3-4. We had trouble running between the tackles again today, and so a lot of our runs had to be wide. They did a good job stopping them, put us in a 3rd and long. Thought we called a safe pass, held on to the ball too long. Then, I don't know what the odds would say with a backup kicker making that length of field goal or going for it on 4th and 14. But that's not a good situation to be in.
Why was it in the third quarter you guys came out a little flat there? Did you see something that kind of set you guys back in the third quarter?
No, the guys were ready when they came out of the locker room. Right from the start, we didn't get lined up for the first play right and had to burn the timeout, and that wasn't a good start. We killed 2 drives with penalties again. I got to go back and see those. I didn't see them. We got to have a killer instinct about us and finish drives. Really felt in that game like when they started coming back, that's when we started clicking on offense. In this offense, we need some big plays too, and we got two really big ones today, but not what I'm used to getting and calling this offense. And we got to find ways to get some more chunk plays so we're not having to grind out 12-play drive.
Coach, what did Colorado do adjustment-wise in the second half that led them to be so successful?
I don't know if it was an adjustment. They looked the same as they did the first. Couple different formations. They widened their backers a little bit. Coverages were the same. Everything was the same. We scored on 3 of our 4 drives in the first half and went 0 for our first 4 in the second half. I don't think it was an adjustment thing. We just didn't execute, and they played well.
Did you feel like you had a chance when Taylor Britt popped the ball on the kick return to?
Yeah, we got to be able to put the game away there too. Last year we were bad at 4-minute offense. That led us to take too big a chance on first down. That was a bad decision. I want to be aggressive and try to put the game away, and they were in a different look there than what we were expecting. And then we got a penalty, and that's a bad way to start a 4-minute drive. It would have taken a couple of first downs with, I think they had 2 timeouts at that point to kill the game, but that's what good teams do.
How did you feel like your guys held up physically in the second half?
I think the offense was fine. We left the defense out there a lot again in the second half because of the misfires on offense and 4 straight punts or whatever it was. The defense looked tired on a couple of those drives. The one where they walked in. We got to go back and look at the tape. We were subbing on the one, and I didn't see, but our defensive coaches said they subbed, and the refs should have stopped it. I don't know what happened for sure there. There was a couple times we looked tired, but I don't think that was the major problem today. We just had 100 chances to finish that game off, and we didn't.
What differences had Maurice Washington fully available to make for this offense?
Yeah, Maurice played well. Obviously had some big plays. I think a couple times he's got to run it up in there a little tougher. Adrian, same way. We made some bad mistakes again out there, particularly in the second half. And we're still a young offense, but that's not an excuse. A lot of these guys have been in the offense for a couple years now. We got to find more of a running game, however we do it.
Can you speak to the importance of not taking a sack in overtime?
Yeah, we do clutch, we do overtime ad nauseum in practice. They know the situations there. can't be holding the ball back there, obviously, so we got to do a better job coaching it. But we've, that last drive, 3 times this week, well, 2 times this week, I don't want to lie, 2 times this week we had 50 seconds on the clock, minus 40, need a field goal to win. So 1 timeout. So exact same situation twice this week, a dozen times in camp, overtime. As a play caller, you kick yourself. We should have run something else. We picked 2 of the plays that had been working and we thought would work against the way they've been lining up the whole game, and they didn't. And then we made a bad call or bad decision on 3rd down.
If that's 4th and 9 instead of 14, would you have gone for it there in the situation?
Yeah, I'm not a statistician. Coaches were saying both things on the headset. We don't have our kicker. I don't really have a play call for 4th and 14. I think you have to get lucky to get that. I do trust Isaac as a football player, punted well today. This isn't on him.
Coach, how tough is this, especially after last year? Come in here ranked and you have something that you want to say, and you did in the first half. How tough was it to not finish it out?
I've only been part of a couple that are tougher than this. As a coach, you try to stay calm on the sideline and do your job. That was tough today because of the emotions. After the sluggish start at the beginning of the 3rd quarter, I think our offense kicked it into gear a couple times when we needed them to. We didn't play well at the same time offensively and defensively in the second half. This is one of the hardest losses I've been a part of.
Scott, after that first catch by JD, we didn't really see a lot of production from the receivers in general. I mean, how do you get that group going, and how important is it for this offense to have more production from receivers?
It's really important. I got a lot of faith in Conavai. The ball doesn't seem to be finding him right now, so we got to make it happen. Didn't get it to JD enough. Wandale did some good things when we got it to him. We got to get it to him more. There was times we didn't protect. As coaches, we also can't scheme these guys open all the time. Colorado didn't scheme Chenault open a lot of times. He just gets open, and we're doing the best we can to put these guys in situations. We got good enough players there. I'd go to battle with JD and Conavai and Wandale and the rest of the guys anytime. But we got to be sharper.
One more. There's been some issues with the 3rd quarter starts. What do you feel like happened today in terms of what your guys were trying to do and just it didn't seem to happen?
I don't know. It's not an emotion thing. The guys were more amped up and ready to go at the start of the 3rd quarter than I think they were the 1st quarter. I got to go back and watch the tape. I know 2 of the drives. We got a chop block and a holding that killed the drives. The first drive started terrible with us not getting the play called right and get the players on the field right. That's on us as coaches. One more score and 24-0, and I think the stands would have started emptying out. Instead, we're dealing with noise instead of them dealing with their noise. I can't thank Nebraska fans enough. They were a difference in that game, the people that traveled out here. I promise them you guys, this is going to get better.
All right. Thank you, Coach. We'll bring a couple players back
Thanks,
here.
Scott.